Hello, Vape Village, and welcome to another of our previews of our upcoming state conference. Today, I have three very important members of the Vape community with me. I'm not going to read their entire biographies because we would be here for way too long. But I have Mary Mason, who is below me in this sort of Brady Bunch style screen that we have set up here. Mary, amongst other things, is the convener of the Professional Learning and Research Committee at VATE and a long-time presenter for VATE, as well as a range of other organisations, and of course a very experienced teacher, as are all three of the people with us today. We've also got Amanda McGraw, who is a senior lecturer at Federation University, amongst some other roles as well, and David Lee, who has held many different positions, including a role leading literacy in the Western region and working with a number of schools as well. So welcome to everybody. Sorry that I can't go through your full biographies today, because we want to focus on the stream that you are running at State Conference. And that stream is coming out of the work the three of you have done with VATE's teaching reading community of practice. So the stream has the sort of subtitle, Making the Experience of Reading Active and Visible. So David, we're going to start with you. What are we going to be exploring as part of these sessions at conference?
Well, Ernest, one of the things that we've discovered, which is really interesting, is that students have very little experience of talking about what they actually experience when they read. The focus primarily in English is about teaching texts. And so that's something that we always start off with. And students find it really engaging and a really interesting exploration. And we have used a number of very simple strategies, which are, I think, really rich in the sorts of insights that they give, and which, when students share them, their insights with each other, really adds to a culture of shared inquiry about reading in the classroom. And they include a simple thing like drawing what goes on in your head when you read, and then commenting on that. And that elicits some very powerful metaphors for what that experience is. Not just the emotional content of it, but also an opportunity to start to explore what's going on, whether it's visualizing, it's making connections, the role of language, etc. That's just one. There's a couple of others. So we're certainly going to be sharing those with participants and talking about the ways in which those sorts of strategies can be used to open up the classroom to students' experiences.
Fantastic. And Amanda, I know that as part of this work that the three of you have done with this project, as well as your other professional work, you've worked towards developing a capability framework for reading.
Yeah, we have. I think it's one of the most exciting things that's come out of this 6-year project is this framework of what effective readers do, what's going on in their heads when they're reading well, what's going on within their bodies when they're reading well, what's going on within their senses when they're reading well. So we've created this framework that even though there's a lot of interconnected, complicated stuff that happens when we read, we've tried to sort of separate those strands out into separate frames, and we've described them in ways that the teachers can actually use those capabilities in their classrooms to help students to understand what's going on for them, or what they could be doing if there are gaps in their reading engagement and their meaning making processes. So we have descriptors for each of the capabilities, and then the other thing that we've been working on is developing examples of activities that teachers can use in their classrooms that connect in with those capabilities, that sort of enliven the capabilities and activate them, so that then teachers can talk with the students about, explicitly about what those capabilities are.
Which is, I think, as you say, such a valuable contribution to the profession and to, as both you and David have spoken about, to really enriching that process of reading in the classroom. Mary, all of this, of course, culminates in a discussion about what role a teacher plays in the classroom as part of this process. How does that fit into this puzzle?
Well, I think one of the most interesting things is that the teacher suddenly recognises what they want to do in teaching. They become the imaginative teacher. And one of the things that's really important with this framework is that we have to recognise that students actually have to start the process of meaning making, and the kind of things that teachers do in classrooms has to encourage the students, and then they have to interact with those students and students interacting with others, and that's how the framework works. To do that is quite difficult because there are lots of things that impinge on what teachers can do in classrooms, but also there are things about being self-aware and alert to students, you know, and really growing as teachers pedagogically and through understanding. And then finally, I think the whole notion of what I would call metacognition, of understanding, of being able to have inquiry questions with students to help them understand their reading and themselves and grow as readers over time. So I guess that what we're trying to do in the second section is to really give a good example of that, and so that teachers experience that whole process.
Well, a very quick snapshot of what is going to be a very complex set of sessions, I think, and I really encourage you to jump online, anyone listening to this interview today, and register for the BATE State Conference and be part of the reading stream. All of the staff in schools who have been through the community of practice with these three wonderful people that we have with us today have come out the other end, I guess, glowing about the experience and really feeling that they have developed, as you said, Mary, as practitioners as a result. So thank you so much to the three of you for today, and we'll see you at the state conference.